Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is Abbey Road times about 100. I guess you could say that's a Fab Four baseball schedule. And you also get a hat tonight when you come into the game. But if you're watching, well, sit back and enjoy as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Minnesota Twins in the first game of a four-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees just took 2 out of 3 in the opening series against the Detroit Tigers, and boy, the balls were flying out of Yankee Stadium, especially up the bat of Mark Teixeira.
Well, Mark Teixeira, a hitter who's traditionally struggled early on in the season, but he had a nice first series. He made a few adjustments this winter. See, he takes a fastball here up in the zone. The most impressive part being able to keep it fair. A switch hitter has to worry about both sides, but all these home runs from the left side of the plate. Another fastball in, deep into the right field seats, and then you love this at bat coming up yesterday. A pitch down in the zone, away, good extension, able to drive it out. A hitter who struggled early is not struggling early this year for the New York Yankees.
John, the Yankee offense not struggling at all in that 3-game set. 6 runs on opening day, then 10 on Saturday, and 7 on Sunday. And you do the math, that's 29 hits as well. 9 home runs, a franchise record for the first 3 games of a season. And as John mentioned, Teixeira had 1 in each game, which ties Dave Winfield for the franchise record as well. Well, the Yankee offense is going to try to support their youngster, Ivan Nova. He battled. He made the team out of spring training. We'll break down that battle and take a look at what he did last year when we come back next on segment 2 right here on Yes. Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay, but you probably knew that with both of us already. But do you know that Ivan Nova is making his first start of the year for the Yankees, and all eyes will be on him? Had a very good spring, and you know what? He showed them a lot last year as well.
Yeah, I think he made a great first impression last year. 42 innings in the big leagues. He picked up his first major league win, but he really has quality stuff. A power curveball, 12-6, can locate his fastball and a good changeup. The key to his success, obviously, the curveball, keeping the fastball down, but the Yankees liked what they saw in his 42 innings last year.
Came into spring training battling for one of the rotation spots, and he got it with that performance. 2-0, 1.80, 20 innings, 11 hits, walked 4, struck out 9. And against the Orioles on March 16th, he didn't allow a hit over 6 innings, so he had a very good spring. Should be a good game, the beginning of a 4-game set. Big stars on both teams, so the stars are out on this Monday night in the Bronx. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on Yes. By Honda. Come see what's new for 2011 today at your Honda dealer. By Bank of America. And by Avis, the official rental car of the New York Yankees. All that baseball waiting patiently right on the rubber as Ivan Nova is about to come out and take hold of that and make his first start of the year, and he's making it on a beautiful evening. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 60 degrees, really nice night. Humidity 58%, wind not much, 13 miles per hour, and the forecast is for cloudy and cool. Crowd filing in. They've yet to even exchange the lineup cards at home plate. And John, let's talk more about Nova. We just spoke about him. This is a guy that they don't look as a fringe starter. They believe that he can really contribute to this team and be a very good starter, a solid number 3 in the big leagues.
Yeah, and we talked about his first impression last year, and obviously you can talk about his stuff, the velocity with the fastball and the curveball, but I think it was how he handled himself, not intimidated by the major leagues, not intimidated by the hitters in the league. Yankees like what they saw last year, and then obviously in spring training said, I'm going to dominate and take one of these spots in the rotation, and he'll get his first start tonight.
4 guys battled for those 2 spots, and he won it, and as did Freddie Garcia. Bartolo Colon probably pitched better than anybody, but they translated him to the bullpen, then they traded Sergio Mitre, and he didn't just get the 5th spot, he got the 4th spot.
Yeah, and he earned it, too. I mean, he went out there, an ERA 1.8, won a couple of games down there, and like I said, took what he learned last year, went into spring training having to fight for a job, and he dominated.
Let's see the umpiring crew that Ivan Nova is going to have to deal with. There they are right there. Dan Bellino is behind the plate. Brian Gorman at first. Larry Vanover is at second. And Tony Randazzo is the third base. On Brian Gorman, by the way, is the crew chief. Now let's shift over to the Twins team that the Yankees are going to face. The Twins 1-2 in their first series, and for some strange reason, John, the Yankees just own the Twins over the last decade.
Well, they do. They come to Yankee Stadium. They have a tough time winning, but the Twins are not scoring runs right now, getting decent pitching. And Scott Baker will get to start his first start of the year, looking to pick up a win here in the Bronx.
All right, you see the Yankees take the field, so let's take a look at the Twins lineup that Ivan Nova is going to face, and it's put together by Ron Gardenhire, the Minnesota manager. Denard Span, the center fielder, is going to lead off. Tsuyoshi Nishioka, the second baseman, will bat second. Joe Mauer will catch. He's going to hit third. Batting cleanup and playing first base. Missed a lot of last year with a concussion. That's Justin Morneau. Delman Young in left field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, the DH, the ageless Jim Thome. Jason Kubels in right field will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Danny Valencia. And Alexi Casilla is the shortstop, and he is going to bat ninth.
The Twins lineup going to get a look at 24-year-old Ivan Nova. His first start of the year, and you see his numbers from last year, an ERA of 4.5. 17 walks in 42 innings. Opponents hit 268 off of him. And we'll look at our scouting report. We already talked about it. Made a very nice first impression last year, 1-2 with an ERA of 4.5. But a dominant spring to pick up a spot in the rotation. 1.8 was his ERA. And the Yankees looking for him to take the next step, and that would be just to pitch deeper into ball games. The one negative we saw last year, having a tough time getting through 5, maybe 6 innings. That'll be the next step for Ivan Nova this year.
Let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind him. It's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. This is the same lineup that you saw in the first 3 games against the Tigers. Nothing has changed. You've got Gardner in left, Granderson in center, and Swisher over in right. And in the infield, third to first, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and the 4-time Gold Glove winner Mark Teixeira is over at first. Russell Martin, who has really done very well in his first 3 Yankee games, he's behind the plate. And the youngster Ivan Nova is on the mound. So you're all set up, ready to enjoy baseball on this Monday evening. And we thank you for joining us, as we always do here on the Yes Network. Yankees 2-1. They took 2 of their first 3 against the Tigers. The Twins starting the season on the road. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Toronto Blue Jays, but they did salvage the final game yesterday with Joe Nathan coming back from Tommy John surgery, closing the game out in the 9th. There's the veteran Ron Gardenhire, and we are ready for baseball here at the stadium. And let's do it. The first pitch is a strike, and we're underway.
Good start for Ivan Nova. Fastball, more importantly, down in the zone. Russell Martin saying that is the key to his success tonight. Keep that fastball down.
The 0-1. Strike. Span had 5 hits in the series against the Blue Jays, hitting .455.
Gotten off to a nice start, and a lot has been made. He's going to try to be more aggressive this year. He comes up his first at bat, takes 2 strikes in the hole 0-2.
The 0-2. Did he go? Yes, he did, said the third base umpire, Tony Randazzo, and Span down on strikes.
Can't draw it up any better if you're Ivan Nova. It looked like a fastball that had a little cut on it. Span was full, tries to hold up, cannot do it. Good velocity, a nice little finish there inside. Strike 3.
Here's one of the newest twins, Tsuyoshi Nishioka. They want a posting fee. He played in Japan last year. Switch hitter. 2 for 11 so far. He takes a pitch low. Now Nishioka won 3 Gold Gloves in Japan, and he's one of 2 hitters in the history of the Pacific League in Japan to get 200 hits. He's not getting one there. Ground ball to Jeter. There's 2 away. The other hitter is Ichiro. So in good company.
Well, very good company. You can see the career in Japan, 2-time Japanese Series champion, a 5-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves. You mentioned, Michael, 2-time stolen base champion, so he has some speed, and the batting average pretty impressive. Batting champion last year, 346.
So they're 2 down, and now here's another former batting champion, Joe Mauer. .93-mile-an-hour fastball is low. Had arthroscopic surgery on his left knee during the offseason. Also had surgery on the same knee in 2004. And he admits at some point, I'm not going to be able to catch because the knee can't handle that kind of strain. He said, but I hope to delay that move to wherever it is as long as I can. He loves catching. Yeah, and he's a great catcher.
And he's a great catcher. He's a good defensive catcher, 3-time Gold Glove winner. So obviously it's a luxury for the Twins if you can have him behind the plate with what he does offensively.
Ground ball up the middle. Jeter had to play perfectly. And a nice 1-2-3 inning for Ivan Nova and the Yankees. And he did it with just 8 pitches. Economical. Twins nothing. The Yankees coming to bat. Impressive 1-2-3 for Ivan Nova against the Twins. Now let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner's been struggling. He leads off. He plays left field. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, bats second. Batting third, playing first base, Mark Teixeira. Alex Rodriguez at third base. He'll clean up. Batting fifth, playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher, big day yesterday. He'll be in right field, batting sixth. Batting seventh, 2 home runs for the DH Jorge Posada in yesterday's loss. Curtis Granderson in center field will bat eighth. Batting ninth and catching, Russell Martin.
Yankee lineup will face right-hander Scott Baker. Minnesota Twins making his first start of the year, and here are the numbers from last year. 12 wins, ERA just under 4.5. 148 strikeouts and 170 in the third innings. We'll look at our scouting report. He has been a consistent winner. 11 wins, 15 wins, and 12 last year. And he's got a swing and miss type curveball. But he needs to stay away from Mark Teixeira, who is hot and has good numbers, 6 for 12 with a home run.
Here's Brett Gardner, and he takes a strike. Yesterday, Gardner was 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, and the Yankees lost to the Tigers. 2 for 12 so far. Fouled away. Baker beat out Kevin Slowey for the final spot in the Twins rotation, and they put Slowey into a revamped bullpen. We'll talk about the Twins bullpen a little bit later on, but totally revamped. Brett Gardner likes that Baker's out there. 4 for 6 against him with 1 home run. High fly ball, left field. Delman Young toward the line, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Twins defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Just saw Delman Young out at left, Denard Spence in center, and Jason Kubel in right. Infield, Danny Valencia is at third, Alexi Casilla at short, Nishioka is the second baseman, and Justin Morneau at first. Joe Mauer behind the plate, Scott Baker is on the mound. Here's Derek Jeter. Derek has 2 hits so far, and both have been of the infield variety. And that was on Saturday against the Tigers. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Caught him off balance with a 79-mile-an-hour pitch. And Casilla puts it away for the second out. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Here's Mark Teixeira. Teixeira with a home run in each of the first 3 games. After hitting 136 last year in April, he's busted out of the gate nicely this year.
Remember in spring training we were talking about Mark being one of those guys. You see the numbers off of Baker, 6 for 12 with a home run. But a player who really needed to get off to a good start, have a good opening day. Had a fantastic opening series, 3 home runs.
He tied Dave Winfield for the best start for a Yankee player at the beginning of a season with a home run in each of the first 3 games. And he gets plunked on the 0-2 pitch. That's certainly not what Baker wanted. And it just seems that Mark is a magnet for that.
Well, obviously you don't want to see any hitter get hit by a pitch, but Mark has had some problems with pitches down by his feet and the toes, and you see that one is going to leave a mark. Obviously gotten off to a great start. You don't want anything to get in the way of that.
No padding there on the toe of the shoe, and he's certainly feeling it. Trying to shake it off at first base.
Gene Monahan, Joe Girardi having a little talk. Looks like Mark's going to play through it.
Last year, Mark had a problem with that same sort of injury. His right pinky toe was broken. He played through the pain. Here's Alex Rodriguez. 4 for 10 in the Detroit series. Swinging the bat well. He was great in spring training, and he carried it to the first series.
Well, the Yankee fans not going to like that. A little fastball inside from Scott Baker. You mentioned Michael. Alex Rodriguez has been locked in from the first day of spring training and carried it in through that first series. Even his outs have been hit hard.
That one's driven deep to left field. That ball is gone. See ya. A bullet into the low deck and left. A 2-run shot for A-Rod. And the Yankees lead 2-0.
Second home run of the year for Alex Rodriguez. And a nice short quick stroke inside. The first pitch was up and in. This one a little bit more down, belt high. But a nice short quick approach, and this ball just jumps out of here. Line drive, home run number 2. And sometimes you'll see Alex kind of cheat inside trying to get a fastball. Looked like he was thinking middle of the plate and just reacted and used his hands. Ball jumped off his bat.
Home run number 615 on his career, and as I mentioned, his second. You can see he's checking on Teixeira, see if he's okay. Those two feed off each other in the lineup. So Alex gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Boy, that was out in an eye blink, a laser shot to left.
Really jumped out to me was how he used his hands. Like I said, sometimes he'll cheat for a ball inside. You'll see his lower half open up. It looked like Alex really just reacted to a fastball in with his hands.
Popped up, left field. Going to be a long run for Delman Young. He can't make it. It's in the seats.
You know, Michael just talking about that home run again. That's when you know a hitter's really locked in, when he's looking for the ball out over the plate and can still cover inside. Good time to be Alex Rodriguez, red hot right now.
Alex Rodriguez with that 2-run home run just tied Rafael Palmeiro for 14th place all time with 1,835 runs batted in. Next up is Ken Griffey Jr. He needs one more to tie him for 13th place. Cano fouls it away. So with the first ribby, when Teixeira came home, that tied Winfield for 15th place. The second ribby tied Palmeiro for 14th place. And over the final third of his career, you're going to have a lot of that with Alex as he passes some of the greatest names in baseball history. Moving on up. That one tipped into the glove of Mauer, and that will do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs on one swing. Alex Rodriguez drives a pitch on the inside part of the plate. Low line drive into the lower deck and left. With that one swing, it gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Tonight's question is, what is the biggest issue for the Twins this season? You could text your vote to 58772 and Remember, standard text messaging rate applies at 1, Morneau's health, 2, Nathan's health, 3, bullpen turnover, or 4, Nishioka's Major League Baseball adjustment. So Morneau takes a pitch low, 1-0. He's such a big part of what the Twins do. And he suffered a concussion last year on July 7th in Toronto, sliding into second base, and he got beaten in the head by the Blue Jays' John McDonald. And he was out for the remainder of the year. Grounded to first. One away.
You're going to pay attention to Mark Teixeira taking that ball off of his right toe. Looks like he's moving around okay. Good sign for Von Nova. Gets behind in the count, able to get a ground ball from Morneau. Nice little two-seamer, ground ball, easy out.
Here's Delman Young. And a strike. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball diving down and away.
Von Nova has got it locked in right now. A good fastball to get ahead in the count, and then he drops a little slider down and away. Young has no chance. Von Nova looks spectacular early on.
Well, Delman Young was searching for it for a long time. With the Rays, never was able to put it together. Traded to the Twins first year, okay. But from June 1st on last year, he led the major leagues with 85 runs batted in. And he had 355 with runners in scoring position. That one is drilled out to right field and deep. Swisher's back. And he makes the play in front of the warning track. Is the ball not carrying at all compared to yesterday? That ball would have had a chance to leave the ballpark yesterday.
Yeah, it was a pretty good approach from Young going the other way. Thought it was going to carry a little bit better, but you mentioned those numbers, how impressive. It only walked 28 times last year, so the scouting report is pretty simple. Do not throw him a strike, and he was still able to be that productive.
Here's Jim Thome. He swings and misses. Thome has 589 home runs. He's trying to become the 8th big league player in history to hit 600 home runs. He's not inching any closer there. The ball taps off Jeter's glove, and there's no play. Now, there was a shift there, and Jeter probably took the out away from Cano. He was ranging very far to the glove side. We'll see how they score that.
You're right, Derek Jeter playing to the right side of second base. Robinson Cano in short right field. And Derek kind of in that place where he doesn't really know how far to go. Robinson Cano was right behind him. Would have been a pretty easy play. And if Derek comes up with this clean, it's going to be an easy play just off the tip of his glove.
Scored an E6. Here's Jason Kubel. Hey, very quickly, I want to give a personal note out to a friend of mine, Joel Sherman, the baseball columnist from the Post. His dad, Murray, one of my favorite people I've ever met. A little under the weather, battling it, hanging in there, and we send out our best. We love you, Murray, and I know he watches every single inning of every Yankee game, so we hope he gets better in a hurry. Fly ball, Gardner settling underneath it, will put it away, and Kubel makes the final out. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 2-0 Yanks. Auction Hunters, Spike TV's hit show, premiering tomorrow at 10 on Spike. Nick Swisher digs in. It'll be Swisher, Posada, and Granderson against Baker. Swisher yesterday was on base all 5 times. He had 3 hits, 2 walks, a couple of runs scored. And Baker deals. Now, Baker was the one Twins pitcher that probably benefited most with the Twins leaving the Metrodome and moving to Target Field last year. Target Field is an outdoor stadium, and it's large. The Metrodome was an unforgiving ballpark, and it yielded home runs. And Baker has a flaw, John. Sometimes his location's not there, and if he made a mistake location-wise in the Metrodome, it was gone. In Target Field, it might be a long fly ball.
Well, we heard Jack Curry, our buddy, talk in the pregame show how he likes to throw his fastball up in the zone, and you saw right there 91 miles an hour, and that's not enough velocity to pitch up in the zone. And I think it plays to what you're talking about, a lot of fly balls in the Metrodome that would have resulted in home runs, maybe not so much at Target Field.
Baker was one of the hotter pitchers at the end of last year. In his final 10 starts, 5-0, 3.18. Pitch outside as Swisher walks. Now the Twins have to come into the Bronx with a good level of trepidation, because as good as the Twins are, they can't beat the Yankees. Now, with Ron Gardenhire as the manager since 2002, they're 16-45 in the regular season against the Yankees and 4-25 in the Bronx. Their .262 winning percentage is the worst against any team. Last year they were 0-10, including the postseason. They've lost all 4 ALDS matchups against the Yankees, and they've lost 9 straight postseason games against the Yankees. So most people love New York. I'm not sure the Twins do.
You know, as a player, and you feel those numbers, you feel some tough losses, and you got a feeling a pitcher's got to go out there and throw a gem, a guy like Scott Baker, and say, you know what, I'm going to put this on my shoulders and win this ball game. Has not gotten off to a great start. Looks like he's pushing his fastball a little bit. Joe Mauer wants to slow him down.
And you would also think, John, that it's got to affect the players, because if anything starts to go wrong, they go, oh, it's the Yankees, here we go again.
Well, I'm sure when that home run that Alex Rodriguez hit, that's the first thought that goes through your head. Here we go again, back in New York. We're down 2-0. But you remember a lot of those ball games, too, the Yankees won late. And you never get the feeling that the Twins could close the Yankees out. And as great as Joe Nathan has been, the Yankees have had some success off of him.
You can't forget the year the Yankees won their World Series in '09. Alex Rodriguez had a huge home run here in the playoffs against Nathan to right center field, and that was the beginning of the end of that series. Pitch is high.
You got a feeling Joe Mauer should start calling something else. I mean, Baker has been pushing fastball after fastball all up in the zone, up and away. Jorge, a couple of home runs yesterday, 4 RBIs. Did all my prep work on Baker, Michael, and they talked about his curveball. What a good pitch. We haven't seen one yet from the right-hander.
Count 3-1. Be ashamed if you did that all for nothing.
All for nothing. And again, a fastball missed in the same spot, riding up and away. If they should make a little adjustment, call a different pitch, change the arm angle, maybe the tempo a little bit.
Count 3-2.
Pretty good swing by Jorge Posada there. 9% curveball, but his best pitch as far as batters having a tough time with. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve. Traditional 4-pitch pitcher.
You know what's interesting, John? We talk about location has always been his problem. If you're predominantly a fastball pitcher, that's not a good problem to have.
No.
Runner goes 3-2. Drill deep to right field. Going back, Kubel. Track. Wall. See ya. 2-run home run for Jorge Posada. 3 in the last 2 games. And the Yankees lead 4-0.
Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, looking on. He's watching a right-handed pitcher who's pretty much coming right at the Yankees with his fastball. And that is all that Jorge Posada saw that whole at bat. Fastball after fastball. And he finally got one middle of the plate. He had the timing down from all the pitches he had seen previously. 3rd home run of the year, 3 in 2 days.
Pitch to Granderson is inside.
See on Yesmo, the good extension from Jorge Posada. Nice finish on the backside there. Good balance.
Hot shot and a base hit. Past the diving Nishioka. So Granderson picks up a single. And early on, Scott Baker struggling.
He just doesn't have enough fastball to miss with location, and we've heard a lot about Phil Hughes, who struggled yesterday. Maybe a little lack of velocity, but more important, lack of location. The Yankees making him pay early on in this game.
11 home runs in the first 4 games for the Yanks. A franchise record for the first 4 games is 12. We still have a lot of ball game left to go. They did that in 2003. Let's talk a little bit about Phil Hughes. That seems to be the topic of conversation amongst baseball fans. Is there a concern that there's a few less miles per hour?
Okay, and let me ask you, Michael, because I tried to remember when Phil came up to the big leagues as a starting pitcher. Where I remember maybe 92.
That's about what and he was touted as like 96, but
it never
really
got there.
Right.
Right, and then he went to the bullpen, and all of a sudden the velocity jumped 95. And then he took that into the starting role last year at the beginning of the year. I don't think that Phil is going to be a guy to throw 95, 96 anymore. Now, it's a concern when you're throwing high 80s, but he's got to find a way to locate a little bit better. And it's kind of like Baker. He doesn't have a fastball to overpower you, doesn't have a whole lot of movement. So you really got to rely on location and changing speeds.
Here's Russell Martin off to a good start as a Yankee. 5 hits and 11 at bats. There's a strike.
2 teams here kind of playing a little different brand of baseball. The Twins went up to Toronto and really did not swing the bats well at all. And on the other side, the Yankees had a nice opening series here. A lot of long balls. We just saw the graphic. 2 home runs today.
Now, Baker had arthroscopic elbow surgery in October. They removed bone chips and spurs, and you wonder, is he somewhat reluctant to snap off breaking balls?
Could be part of it. He also reminds me a little of Aaron Seeley, how he's got a little short arm swing and he doesn't, kind of tries to hide the ball, short arms it.
Grounded to short. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1 on to first. It's a double play. Granderson went in hard on Nishioka, but he got rid of the ball quickly. So a 6-4-3 DP. Baker knows he has to stop it right here. You'll see this double play because the Yankees have scored 4 and the Twins scored 8 runs total in 3 games against Toronto.
First look at Nishioka at second base, turning a double play. Granderson goes in hard, but Nishioka did not have a whole lot on that throw, and they said that's pretty much the one weakness in his game is his throwing arm. Suited more for second base and shortstop.
Here's Brett Gardner. There's an off-speed pitch. Count 1-0. Count 2-0.
.154 batting average kind of jumps out at you, Michael. It's the worst when you start a season, you're struggling. And you know it's only a few games. You know it's only a few at bats, but you know your batting average is not impressive. It's tough not to get down and press early. Brett kind of had one of those games yesterday we're not used to seeing from him, striking out of, what, 3 times yesterday, and the swings were not his typical swing. So back to the drawing board today, hoping to have a better night tonight.
Count 2-2.
Actually liked his first at bat. He kind of forced the ball the other way, hit a fly ball to left field. That was the one thing watching his at bats yesterday. It looked like he was really rolling over a lot more than I'm used to seeing from Brett. It looks like he's trying to force the ball the other way tonight. Get back in some better habits.
Two. And the count goes full. His ability to take pitches and seemingly always work to a full count is one of the reasons the Yankees like him in the leadoff spot, and obviously the ability to steal bases. Still 3-2. Now, Brian Dunsing, the lefty, will start tomorrow for the Twins, and Girardi has already said that Jeter will lead off tomorrow, and that's what they're going to do. Have Jeter play the leadoff spot against lefties, and Andrew Jones is probably going to play left field, get his first start. Pitch is inside, so Gardner walks. And Joe's decision is going to be either play Gardner or Granderson, which left-hander will sit. Obviously, Gardner could just switch over and play center. 22 pitches this inning so far for Baker. Big Joe Girardi show. WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi show coming up after the game, the premiere for the 2011 season. An exciting show. You want to tune in for that.
Let's see if Brett Gardner tries to be aggressive on the base paths here with Derek Jeter up at the plate with 2 outs. Try to get himself in the scoring position. And one part of Brett's game that I think can use some improvement, being aggressive early in counts, forcing the action. Joe Mauer, a nice reputation as a good throwing catcher, threw out 26% last year under the Gold Glove. Baker trying to give him a chance here.
Now, Baker is a guy who averaged 2.16 walks per 9 innings last year. He's walked 2 already of the first 10 hitters, and he also hit a batter.
So Mauer getting the signs from his bench coach about the running game, trying to keep Gardner close. But I think a lot of times, Michael, the base runners don't know how tough it is to throw a runner out. And by that, I mean, whenever there would be a guy like a Ricky Henderson would get on first base and you knew he was going, you felt the pressure. You felt like you really had to rush your throw. And I don't know if Brett realizes that with his speed, he can almost intimidate some pitchers and catchers if he just ran early every time. First, second pitch. Gain some confidence.
That's the one thing that you'd say with his game, he has to tighten up a bit. He does take a while to steal a base.
And it gets tough when you're Derek Jeter or whoever is going to be behind him. The 47 bags last year. Caught 9 times, 84%. But it gets frustrating when you're waiting for a guy to run and get in scoring position. How many pitches are you going to take? Good swing right there from Derek on the fastball in the outer half. Gotten off to a slow start this year, looking to get it going.
Last year, only 9 base runners tried to steal against Baker. 3 were successful. Runner goes. Ground ball grabbed there by Morneau. He'll step on the bag, and that will do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 1. It's been a great 2 days for Jorge Posada. Yesterday, 2 2-run home runs. He liked it so much, he decided to do it again tonight. Yankees lead 4-0. Lead the Twins on the Lincoln scoreboard. How about this for a stat? 27 offensive innings. The Yankees have scored 27 runs, 21 of them coming on 11 home runs. So they're certainly swinging the bats well coming out of spring training. We go to the 3rd inning, and the Yankees are leading the Twins 4-0, and that young lady enjoying some cotton candy. Boy, she's really just shoveling it in there. Anyway, with Valencia at the plate against Nova, let's check in with our very own Kim Jones. Kim, how you doing?
I thought you were talking about me with that cotton candy for a minute.
No, you would know better than to eat that on camera. Now, we're looking at Ivan Nova, and the other day you told this great story about how CC Sabathia demanded that Ivan Nova let him buy him suits. So where are we with that?
Well, first of all, Cece wanted to know how I knew, so I blame Nova, so I have no blame in this. But I did talk to Cece today, and he said, Ivan Nova's a great kid. We became close last season when he was called up. He also, by the way, really admires his poise and confidence on the mound. Anyway, CC Sabathia did have Ivan Nova fitted for custom-made suits. They are on the way. Cece tells me they will be delivered by Thursday when the Yankees go on the road for the first time. Cece also told me that he picked out the colors. He went with basic colors that Nova can mix and match. He would not tell me how many. My guess is it's a closet full. So Ivan Nova will be the recipient of suits, shirts, and ties, again, arriving before Thursday. We know Nova's very grateful. I said to Cece, what about the shoes? His response, he's on his own when it comes to the shoes.
John, what does that tell you about a teammate that does that for a kid?
Well, I'm wondering why there was never a teammate that did that for me. You never did that for me when I came in the booth.
You got your clothes. You look great.
Peerless clothing.
Hey, Michael, I should mention, since you mentioned paying it forward the other day, that's exactly what CC Sabathia is doing. He said back in 2001 he was a young Cleveland Indians player. Ellis Burks did the same thing for him. CC said, this is what you do. This is baseball. So he learned it a decade ago, and he's passing it along. Perhaps someday Ivan Nova will return the favor with a youngster.
Yeah, you'd say that CC gets it. That's the best way to put it. He just gets it now. Phil Hughes didn't get it yesterday. He didn't get the good velocity that he wanted. John and I were talking about it last inning, Kim. What's the buzz around the Yankees? Is there a concern about the velocity issue?
There is some concern. The latest update is Phil Hughes will throw long toss tomorrow. Pitching coach Larry Rothschild saying, we're not doing anything radical. We are trying to improve the arm strength. Hughes said yesterday after the game, and some veterans in the clubhouse I spoke with echoed this today. Hughes saying, I will be in trouble without that increased velocity. So it is something on their minds. Hughes' next start scheduled for Friday. It is the Red Sox home opener in Boston. So between now and then, there will be a lot of conversation. Joe Girardi does have one theory. He mentioned that last year, Phil Hughes' first start of the season came on April 15th as he was pushed back. Joe surmising that perhaps Phil Hughes just needs a little bit longer time period to get his arm in shape. And guys, I'll throw it back to you by adding, Joe also used the examples of Jamie Moyer and Mike Messina as guys who did not always have lights out velocity, didn't really have it in their careers, but made very nice careers with what they had.
There's a fly ball at Granderson. Now, my answer to that, John, I want to get your take. Those guys took a long time to get to that level. Phil Hughes is a young man who has had the velocity to get people out with his fastball. It's a little too early to be comparing him to Jamie Moyer.
I hate the Jamie Moyer comparison.
Different pitcher.
Yeah, totally different. And Jamie had an outstanding changeup and would try to sneak a fastball by you. I go more with the long toss theory with Larry Rothschild. Try to build up some arm strength. And I don't know about Phil's program, but it'd be good to lengthen it out a little bit with the long toss.
Yankees leading the Twins 4-0. Back to the top of the lineup, and Denard Span against Nova. And this could be a double play. There's one. And there's two. We thank Kim Jones. We'll talk to her a little bit later on in the postgame. And another scoreless inning on the board. Off the right arm of Ivan Nova. No runs, no hits. Because of the DP, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the third. 4-0 Bombers. Well, we go to the bottom of the third inning, and Mark Teixeira will lead off on the Lincoln scoreboard. Yankees lead 4-0. Last time up, Teixeira got hit by a pitch, and he got hit by a pitch on the front foot, the right foot, and it struck us as familiar to last year. So what we did was we dug up when he got hit last year. It's amazing. August 31st of last year.
Pretty much the same pitch and the same result. And we talked about Mark getting off to a great start. You hope that there is no damage there on that right foot. You brought up a great point, though. The stances look totally different. Mark looked a lot more crouched last year than he is at this point this year. Very impressed here in the left from last year. A lot more bend in the knees, a little more straight up this year. Well, the future is a hitting instructor, Michael. You're all over that.
I don't think there's any danger for Kevin Long. The 2-1. Strike. I was talking to Dave Winfield today, and on my radio show, and he said he was watching the game when Teixeira hit the home run yesterday. He said, when you guys mentioned my name, it made me feel good that people remember me. I said, I think people remember you, Dave. Hall of Fame, 465 homers. As Teixeira goes down on strikes on an off-speed pitch.
You see Mark saying a little backup slider. He expected it to break down and in and kind of stayed on the outer half. As a hitter, you read spin, think it's going to come into you, and it just spins the other way. A little backup slider gets the job done.
Backup. Here's Alex.
Just shows you what a different place he is mentally this year than he was last year to start the season. He can kind of laugh and joke about a strikeout knowing it was a backup slider. It's easy to do when you have 3 home runs in 3 days.
High fly ball, deep left center, stand back. He's on the track, now comes back on the grass, and he'll put it away for the second out. Alex just missed his second home run.
Always seem to look at Alex and his body language when he comes out of the box, if he knows he got it or not. There's a little indecision. Obviously a good swing, hits it on the good part of the bat, and he kind of knows he probably needs a little bit of help with the elements. The wind not helping him tonight. Fly ball out.
Here's Robinson Cano. Pitch high. Along with John Flaherty and Kim Jones, Michael Kay here. You're watching Yankees baseball on Yes. Thank you for joining us on this Monday evening. Yankees are leading 4-0. 2-run home run by A-Rod, 2-run home run by Posada. As Cano lofts that one to left field. Baker changed speeds a lot more in that inning as he retires the Yankees in order. 1, 2, 3. 3 in the books here at the stadium. Yankees 4 and the Twins 0 on Yes. Smokers Quit Line quiz. On this date back in 1989, Tommy John started his 26th and final season in Major League Baseball. Who were the other 3 pitchers to play in at least 25 seasons? Here's Nishioka. Pitch outside. We mentioned that Nishioka was a member of the Japan team in the 2006 Baseball Classic. And he's a little different. So in the World Baseball Classic, there was a stoppage in play, and Japan was playing the USA, and he just walked over and shook Derek Jeter's hand. Just wanted to meet him. Now here they are, reunited here in the Bronx.
Well, the Yankees getting their first look at him, and obviously you look at his stance upright, and like a lot of the Japanese hitters, really does a great job of loading up on his back leg. A little leg kick with his front leg.
Twins completely revamped their middle infield. Last year it was J.J. Hardy at short and Orlando Hudson at second. And now it's Nishioka and Casilla at second and short, respectively.
But you mentioned Ichiro before coming over, Michael. I remember seeing him early in the year, and everybody was saying he'll never be able to hit in the big leagues like that. Really lunged forward in the box. Obviously, everybody was wrong.
Central should be a little bit of a dogfight this year. We just saw the Tigers, and here are the Twins, and the White Sox are also expected to do well. Right back to Nova. Here's an interesting stat in the American League. The Central has 3 teams with payrolls over $100 million. No other division in the American League has that. Even the East doesn't. Ron Gardenhire in his 10th season as Twins manager. Took over for the great Tom Kelly.
Seems every year, Michael, it's always easy just to overlook the Twins. You know, Ron Gardenhire always seems to have his team right there at the end. A lot of talk about the White Sox this year. We just saw the Tigers. I would not rule out that man in this organization. They always find ways to win ball games.
Grounded to first. Teixeira flips to Nova. And Nova has been great so far tonight as he retires the first 2 Twins here in the 4th.
Well, it really cannot have gone any better early on for Ivan Nova. Obviously 4-0 lead. He's got the ability to throw the ball over the plate, challenge a lineup that only scored 8 runs in Toronto over 3 days. So a perfect matchup for Nova. Joe Girardi, Larry Rothschild have to be enjoying it. A lot of ground balls.
Here's Justin Morneau. We told you how he got the concussion last year on July 7th and was bothered with it the rest of the year. Battled through it over the winter and actually started spring training a little bit late before he got in games. And he now has to talk to his doctor every single day as they monitor that he's okay. He's okay right there as he blisters one into right center field. Cutting it off in the gap is Granderson. Morneau's going for 2, and he's going to make it. Let's look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. 3 more games coming up against the Twins tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Then a 1:05 start on Thursday. Then the Yankees take off for Boston, where they will start the Red Sox home season 2:05 on Friday. Then Saturday and Sunday on Fox and ESPN. Remember, the games on Fox and ESPN immediately following those games will be the Yes postgame show. It's called Yankees Extra Innings. It's an interactive postgame show.
The Red Sox have gotten off to a tough start.
Strangely, John, Terry Francona was a very steady guy. In the 3rd game of that series against the Rangers, he dropped Crawford in the lineup to 7th. And he ended up getting a couple of hits. But Carl Crawford, when, let's say, the Red Sox don't do well in the series against the Indians, if he returns to Boston and the Red Sox are 1-5 or something like that, he'll realize the difference between Tampa Bay and Boston.
Very quickly. And, you know, my thought goes to Tino Martinez. Remember, he used to talk about that. He had a terrible road trip to start off and then, what, hit a grand slam against Baltimore, if I remember correctly?
The end of April.
Good pitch right there from Nova, and a fastball count 2-0 to a very aggressive hitter in Delman Young. Able to locate a fastball down and away, get back in the count 2-1. Remember, he's so aggressive, he'll swing at pitches out of the zone if you let him.
Count 3-1. Now here's where Nova, you see where Delman Young ranked last year with runners in scoring position. Nova faltered last year. With runners in scoring position, opponents hit 394 against him. In every other situation, they hit 237. 3-1. It's Young who grounds slowly toward A-Rod. And A-Rod has to hold on to the ball. It's an infield single for Delman Young. Couldn't have rolled that ball any more effectively toward Alex.
Again, another good sign for Nova, and a fastball count 3-1, able to get a weak ground ball. It tells you that his fastball's got some movement on it. And Alex, a smart play. The play is in front of him. He sees how far Young is down the line. Tries to fake the throw, but Morneau is not biting at third base as he rounded. First real trouble right here for Nova. First and third, 2 outs, and the dangerous Jim Thome.
Cano on the outfield grass at second. With runners on base, Jeter's not on the second base side of the bag, but shades up the middle. Those are the active home run leaders. A-Rod with 615, that's up to date. Jim Thome with 589. You know that Thome hits a home run every 13.6 at bats, and that is the best, the 4th best home run percentage or ratio in Major League history. The first 3, Mark McGwire did it every 10.6, Babe Ruth 11.8, Bonds 12.9. And Thome 13.6.
Well, he just had a fastball to hit right there, and he fouled it off. Ivan Nova got away with a mistake pretty much right down the middle. Talked about it in our scouting report for Nova. Has to get to the next level this year. Last year had trouble pitching deep into ball games. Michael, you just mentioned trouble with runners in scoring position. As he goes through the order, the first, second, and third time, obviously the numbers get better for the opposing batters.
The 2-2. Jason Kubel is on deck.
This would be an interesting pitch right here, Michael. 3-2, 2 outs, first and third. You got Kubel on deck, who has plenty of power. 21 home runs, 92 RBIs last year. Looks like they're going to go with a 3-2 changeup, gutsy pitch.
Runner goes. That one is drilled deep to right center field, giving Chase Swisher. He's on the run, and it lands between Swisher and Granderson. Thome will get a double, 2 runs will score, Twins on the board, and the Yankees now lead 4-2.
Actually, not a bad pitch right there from Nova. Change up down in the zone, down middle. You see, that's where Russell Martin wants it, and it's got some finish down and away. Thome does a good job of going down and getting it. Didn't seem like he hit it on the barrel. Short hops the wall. Twins on the board. Again, down and away with a little bit of finish. Ball hangs up in the air for a long time. It's out of the reach of Curtis Granderson.
Pitch to Jason Kubel's outside. So in his first 2 hitters that he faces with a runner in scoring position, each of them get a hit. And again, we detailed that that was a problem last year. One of them, it's unfair, was a slow roller. But Thome with a legitimate double into the gap. Strike.
You know, Michael, when we saw the Russell Martin put the changeup down for a 3-2 changeup, I said it was a gutsy pitch because you want to make sure you throw it for a strike, which he did. He actually made a good pitch. See the pitch count up to 52 now. Give Tomei a little credit for putting that type of swing on that pitch.
Another strike. In deep concentration, the Yankee brain trust. A 1-2. Nova threw 29 pitches the first 3 innings. He threw only 8 in the first inning. But he's thrown 25 pitches so far this inning.
A disappointing part of that, too, getting the first 2 outs quickly and then a double to Morneau, an infield hit, and then the double to Tomei.
Numb foul.
Some very defensive swings from Jason Kubel on the curveball, and there the changeup. Great fastball hitter, having a little trouble with the off-speed pitches, but doing a nice job fouling them off.
And that one gets past Russell Martin, allowing Tomei to move to third.
Tough pitch for any catcher to block. See, Martin wants it down. I don't know if we wanted it that far down, as Nova really yanked that curveball down and in. It'll be a wild pitch. Tomei advances to third.
The 2-2. Just nipped, but could not be held onto by Russell Martin.
You can see the game plan here. All breaking balls to Kubel. Down and in, a changeup down and away, another breaking ball back door, and very, very weak swings. You get a little frustrated as a catcher and a pitcher when you make good pitches and he fouls them off and takes some weak swings. Got to put them away.
Danny Valencia is on deck. Popped up, left field line. Gardner runs out of room. Kubel has worked a 9-pitch at bat. Kubel saw a lot of action last year with the injury to Morneau, and he and Kadire pretty much became everyday players. Kadire's on the bench today, but his average in 2009 was 300. Last year it dropped to 249, but he did drive in 92 runs. Grounded sharply on one hop to Cano, and that'll do it. A 31-pitch inning as the Twins get back in the game. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Quit line quiz. The question was, in '89, Tommy John started his 26th and final season in baseball. Who are the other three pitchers to play in at least 25 seasons? I think our former partner Jim Cotta is one. Let's see who else. Nolan Ryan and Charlie Huff.
I was going to say Bert Blyleven. He didn't play that long, I guess.
No. I thought Jamie Moyer might have, but I guess he spent a lot of time in the minors. 4-2 Yankees lead. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Here's Nick Swisher. Moyer 24. Bert Blyleven is going to go into the Hall of Fame this year, inducted, and later this year they're going to retire his number at Target Field. Nick Swisher, fly ball right field. Kubel is there. One away. I asked Bert today, I said, have you written your speech yet? He goes, no. I said, well, don't give it too much thought. He says, Mike, I don't give anything too much thought.
I got a chance to see Bert today and obviously congratulated him. And I was just, every time somebody saw him, they said the same thing. Congratulations, congratulations. It's been a long time coming. He's going to get that in every major league city he travels to this year. Obviously, probably not going to get old going into the Hall of Fame, being congratulated for it.
Took him 14 tries to get in. So you get 15 tries and that's it. Otherwise, you'd have to get in with the Veterans Committee. Posada grounds out to Nishioka for the second out. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios, a network ahead. Pair of left-handers going tomorrow. Brian Dunsing for the Twins. Good season last year. CC Sabathia for the Yankees. Coverage begins at 6 right here on Yes. With the BP show, 6:30 is the pregame. And right around 7:07, 7:08 will be first pitch. Now you can see with CC starting tomorrow, they keep him on turn. And then Wednesday's game will be started by the 5th starter, Freddie Garcia. So they give the other starters the extra day, but they want to keep CC every 5. Count 0-2. Pitched on opening day, did not get the decision. That went to Jabba Chamberlain, but he gave them 6 innings, 3 runs. Yankees won the game. The 0-2. 1-2.
This will get your attention right here. Joe Mauer wants it up middle. It ends up and in. 0-2 pitch. Obviously, you don't like it up in the head area, but no harm, no foul.
Anderson has worked the count full. And he walks. So from 0-2 to walk. Granderson on for the second time.
Good at bat from Curtis Granderson, obviously getting himself on base. Now the possibility of stealing a bag with 2 outs, get himself into scoring position. A lot of positive things. Got the pitch count up a little bit.
Russell Martin banged into a 6-4-3 double play in the second. Russell's middle name is Coltrane, and that's in honor of the famous jazz musician John Coltrane. Russell's dad is a musician. That's a pretty cool middle name, Coltrane.
I was just thinking, the research I do, I never come across things like that. Coltrane. You have somebody who does your research for you?
Yeah, a guy named Mike Bonner puts it right on the scoreboard and sends it.
It's really nice of him.
Runner goes. Served beautifully into right field for a base hit. Ball is cut off by Nishioka as Granderson moves to third.
Just a great approach from Russell Martin, waiting for that breaking ball and not trying to do too much. Curtis Granderson on the move, and this is just a pretty piece of hitting. A good pitch down and away. This hits a rocket the other way. That was the one knock on Russell Martin the last few years in LA, as he tried to pull the ball a little bit too much. Curtis Granderson with 2 outs does not have to hesitate, gets himself into into third base with 2 outs. Russell Martin had a nice start to the season, a nice piece of hitting there.
So a little 2-out rally for the Yankees. Runners on the corners for Brett Gardner. Gardner, a fly ball to left and a walk. Much more off speed from Baker as we moved along in the game.
He's found a better rhythm, but you love what the Yankees are doing here in this inning in the bottom of the 4th. A couple of quick outs. Good at bat from Granderson, a base hit from Russell Martin. Now Baker on the ropes again. Good sign for the Yankees early offensively. You have to finish them off at the end of the inning. Baker not doing it so far here.
Delayed steal by Martin as he goes into second. And Mauer didn't want to throw through and then have Granderson break from third.
Well, we always joke about a catcher who runs well. Martin just executes the delay steal perfectly. Takes 3 shuffle steps off of first base and then decides to steal. Perfect execution. Now in scoring position.
Russell stole third in the Tiger series. Became the Yankees' first catcher to do that since Posada in 2000. And before that, Thurman Munson.
That wasn't a typo. Posada actually did that?
Yes, he did. Munson's was in 75. Posada's was in 2000. Jorge will tell you that before he became a catcher, he was very fast. He used to play second base.
Yeah, when I was in Little League, I was fast too.
Wow. You know, Jorge's a DH. He's probably listening to this now.
Now I'm supposed to think about it a little bit, what I say.
The 1-2.
Get off that subject quickly, and actually some better swings by Brett Gardner. Staying inside the baseball a little bit better. Kevin Long and Brett had a little session today trying to figure some things out. A nice little confidence boost here if he could pick up a base hit, couple RBIs, get himself back on track.
One-two pitch inside. And the count is full. Granderson is on third. Russell Martin at second with 2 men out. They'll stay put on the 3-2. Slapped into left field, coming on Young. He dives and he makes the play. He saved an extra base hit and he saved 2 runs. An outstanding play by Delman Young, a slicing line drive, moving away, a full body dive, and he hauls it in to keep the Yankees at 4. Thanks, Bob. 4 teams in baseball remain undefeated. The Orioles, as Bob mentioned, then the Texas Rangers. They swept the Red Sox, the Phillies over the Astros, and the Reds over the Brewers. Slow roller up the third baseline and foul. Hey, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate our good buddy and our colleague, Bob Lorenz. He was honored last night with the New York Emmy for the best studio host, and well-deserved. He's outstanding. He's probably the best in the business. Forget about a New York Emmy. So we love Bob, and we were so proud of him last night to be there and share his honor. So congratulations to Bob Lorenz.
Nice night for him. 3 in a row for Bob Lorenz. He's on a nice little run.
Hat trick. Hat trick. And you couldn't tell. I told him, I said, you'll win again. He goes, oh, now you jinx me. But I did. He won again.
And he had some nice, kind words for you.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Fly ball to right, and Valencia is down for the first out. This moment in Yankees history is brought to you by Johnny Walker. Let's see what this moment involves. ...2004 ALDS Game 4. The Yankees defeat the Twins 6-5 in 11 innings to clinch their second straight ALCS berth. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. There's a strike.
Ruben Sierra with a big home run late in that ball game.
Big Rube.
A big inning here for Ivan Nova. Obviously has a 2-run lead. Pick up a couple more outs in this inning. He'll be in line for a possible win.
Hot shot inside first, a fair ball down the right field line. Swisher plays it quickly. Casillas going for 2, but Swisher hurried it and couldn't come up with the ball and flips it in as Casillas picks up a double.
Well, Casillas can really fly, and Nick Swisher knew that. He actually got a nice carom off of the wall, and he just tried to rush the throw a little bit, did not come up with it clean. And I mentioned Ivan Nova trying to get through this 5th inning because this is where he had trouble last year. In the middle of ball games, he'd have a lead, everything seemed to be going well, and then all of a sudden he would get himself in trouble. Nick just trying to rush it a little bit, can't come up with it. Casillas cruises into second base easily. Actually did not know that Nick did not come up with it, so goes with the headfirst slide.
Here's Denard Span. He's 0 for 2. You know, John mentioned at the beginning that Span takes a lot of pitches, but yesterday, after having lost the first 2 games of the Blue Jay series and the Twins weren't really swinging the bat well, he came back to the bench. He said, forget about taking pitches for you guys. I'm going to start cutting and slashing. They picked up some big hits.
And you know what? It's going to make him a dangerous hitter this year because he has a reputation of taking pitches, and then all of a sudden as a catcher, you don't know when he's going to be aggressive, picking his spots. Twins really looking for him to pick it up a little bit this year. His on-base percentage last year was down about 60 points. Batting average as well. And this was the problem last year. First 4 innings pretty good. After that he struggled. See if he can improve on that this season.
You know, there was some concern last year that he was getting fatigued in the 5th inning, and that's why he started to lose it. But the Yankees firmly believe that it was a mental thing, that he was just having trouble getting over the mental hump. Okay, this is when you get a win and stuff like that. And they feel they could deal with that. If it was a physical thing, that would be more of a problem. The 0-2. Strike 3. Big pitch. Span down looking. He's down looking for the second strikeout of the night for him.
Span obviously looking for a different pitch. Martin wants it high, but it ends up pretty much belt high, a little bit of movement back. He gets a strike call from Dan Bellino. But you know, Michael, I dealt with a lot of young pitchers, especially in Tampa Bay, and it was a big deal when you were a kid to put yourself in line for a win, thinking all I have to do is get through the 5th inning and I have a chance, and you put a lot of pressure on yourself. You don't execute your pitches, and then maybe a little lack of concentration.
Pitch is low to Nishioka. That one's lined into left center field, giving chases Granderson. He can't get there, and he'll grab the ball before it gets to the warning track. Scoring easily is Casilla, and Nishioka picks up a double and an RBI, and the Twins have close to within one.
Nishioka has hit a couple of ground balls earlier in this ball game, and Anova decided he was going to challenge him, and he made him pay. Larry Rothschild going to have a conversation to bring up Joe Mauer. Look at our Home Depot hitter scouting report on Joe Mauer. Health could be a concern. Michael mentioned he had a couple of surgeries on the knee in the last couple of years, but he is a doubles machine. 43 last year, and that is second on baseball's all-time list for catchers. Pudge had 47 to lead that list. And 3 Gold Gloves in his career. He gets a lot of attention for his offensive game, and rightfully so, but a very solid defender behind the plate. Another look at Nishioka and how he goes the other way. Finally makes an adjustment, gets away from the ground ball on the sinker and drives it the other way. Casilla scores easily. 1-run ball game.
There's a strike.
Good test for the young right-hander right here. Got a 1-run lead. Joe Mauer, 2 outs in the 5th inning. Going to erase a lot of the demons from last year, having trouble in the middle of the ball game. If you can get this big out, possibly go back out there for the 6th.
And he does get out of it. A ground ball to Cano. He gets the tough Mauer, and that will do it. 1 run though on 2 hits and 1 man left at the end of 4.5. We're halfway through. Yankees lead 4-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Yankees would like to congratulate one of the game's good guys. And finally, we can call him a Hall of Famer. 287-game winner and longtime Twins TV analyst, Bert Flyletter. He'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame this coming July.
Time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. The question was, what is the biggest issue for the Twins this season? You've been voting at 58-7-7-2. Let's see how you voted. 49% think it's going to be Morneau's health. And I would agree. He's pretty important. Although, you know, after he didn't play in July, they still did very well.
I would have given Joe Nathan's health a little bit more. Big key at the end of the bullpen. Got a save yesterday, but struggled in Toronto.
Now, he will not pitch today. Threw 31 pitches yesterday, Joe Nathan, coming back from Tommy John surgery. So Matt Capps, last year's closer, who they signed to a 1-year deal to be a setup man, he would be the closer tonight. Pitch to Derek Jeter is a strike.
And Michael, I laugh. A lot of attention has been made about Derek Jeter. Got off to a slow start. Brett Gardner the same. Brett hits a BB the other way. His last at bat gets robbed by Delman Young. And Derek Jeter, his last at bat, hit a ball hard right at Justin Morneau.
That one is driven the other way. Fair ball, it's trouble. It is a foul ball.
And again for Derek Jeter, when you're struggling, the ball goes foul just a little bit. When you hit it hard, it goes right at Justin Morneau. Good swing, good approach. Just slices foul. Difference early on between a guy who gets a couple of hits, you don't really pay attention to it, and a guy who's struggling.
It'll be Jeter, Teixeira, and A-Rod near the bottom of the 5th. So Baker stopped them right after Posada's 2-run home run. He's allowed his team to climb back in it. It's 4-3 Yankees. Anybody's game here in the bottom of the 5th. Jeter tries to hold up. Did he? Yes, he did, said Brian Gorman.
Baker tries to elevate the fastball. Derek might have gotten away with one there from Brian Gorman.
It'll be interesting to see if Derek continues to struggle just a bit. It's almost folly to say that it's the 4th game of the year. Yeah. If he stays with the little tweak with no stride that he and Kevin Long worked during spring training on. And that's a foul ball.
Well, Michael, just watching Derek take batting practice today, it looked to me like he was going back to the little tap with his front foot that we've seen through his whole career. And Kevin Long tried to make that adjustment in spring training, which went well. You can see that front foot. It's really all about the direction on where that foot goes to, and it looks like Derek may be a little bit in between with his timing right now.
That one he did not hold up as Jeter down on strikes.
Again, our Jack Curry mentioned in the pregame show, Baker likes to pitch with that fastball up in the zone, and Derek Jeter saw 2 of them in the bat. Got away with the check swing the first time, not the second.
Teixeira in his career has averaged .235 in games in March and April, and after that .294, so he's got to be elated that he's hitting .308 here in game 4. Howard's driven deep to right field. Fair ball, it's gone. It is a foul ball. Flirting with home run number 4. Crushed that.
Well, you got to believe that Mark Teixeira was going to have the green light 3-0, especially the way he has been swinging. And it's not fouled by a lot. And you like the path of this fly ball. It does not have a lot of hook on it, and that tells you Mark Teixeira is pretty much right on time with his timing and the path of his swing. Very dangerous hitter at this point early on.
Good numbers against Baker, 6 for 13. Wow, Teixeira was taking off his guard. Thought that was ball 4. But a late call by Dan Bellino.
Well, the crowd doesn't like it here at Yankee Stadium. Joe Girardi doesn't like it, but Dan Bellino is not going to like the reaction of Mark Teixeira. We'll get another look. It looks down, and it looks like it's running off the plate, and it's obviously not where Joe Mauer set up. But Baker gets a call.
There's ball 4. So Teixeira on for the second time, hit by a pitch and scored, struck out, and now a walk. Rick Anderson checking the pitch count. All he has to do is look at our screen. It says 80 right there. Here's Alex. Grounded to short. This could be two. There's one. And there's two. So a double play off the bat of Alex Rodriguez. So the walk does not hurt Baker. We played 5 at the stadium. Yankees are leading Minnesota by a 4-3 score. Built on trust at GE Capital, we prove that every day.
Alex Rodriguez again hits a hard ground ball right at Casilla. Over to Nishioka. Easy turn.
Morneau checks his swing, and they say he did not go. Now the concussion with Morneau certainly raised more concerns around Major League Baseball, and they have instituted a new rule this year, which I think is really good, that if you do suffer a concussion, that one is lined into right field, and it's going to be a base hit. Nick Swisher cuts the ball off, and Morneau will stop at first with a single. If you suffer concussion, no ifs, ands, or buts, you automatically go on a 7-day disabled list. This way, there's no temptation to say I'm fine. There's no temptation for the team to get you in, and I think it protects both parties.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Obviously, Larry Rothschild going to the phone. But, you know, they have so much more information now, Michael, as Boone Logan getting loose for the Yankees in the pen. I mean, there are times when I probably had concussions and didn't know about it. I mean, we didn't know. If you got your bell rung at a collision at home plate and you started seeing some stars, you just thought it was part of the job, no big deal, get back after it. Now they have so much more information, obviously for the best.
And it was agreed upon jointly by Major League Baseball and the Players Association. It benefits everybody. This could be a double play. There's one. And there's two. Doubling up the speedy Delman Young. That's just what Ivan Nova needed.
Well, nice job by Nova getting Joe Mauer to end the 5th inning. And then a nice job here. A little slider down and away. Gets Delman Young to roll it over. Pretty much a tailor-made double play. We're starting to see the young 24-year-old right-hander, when he needs to make a pitch here in the middle of a ball game, he's been able to do it. Pitch count very respectable, 77 with 2 outs in the 6th.
Tommy fouls it away with no one on base. Jeter again is on the second base side of the bag as the Yankees shift. How about this stat? Tommy had 25 home runs last year at the age of 39, or at the age of 40, actually. He did it in 340 at-bats. In the history of baseball, only 3 other players have had that many home runs, 39 or older. Barry Bonds, Ted Williams, and Hank Aaron. And everything you hear about the guy, not only does he perform on the field, but he's so likable and he's so great in the clubhouse. He's a good guy to have on your 25-man roster. Everybody likes him.
Yeah, he's always been a pro. Michael, I played against Jim Thome in Double-A. He was a batting champion, and he was a guy who just hit the ball the other way. You know, think like a Wade Boggs, just drive it the other way, and then got to Triple-A, learned how to pull the ball, and here he is.
Misses inside, the count 3-2. David Robertson now joins Boone Logan in the bullpen, so a righty and a lefty. Swing and a miss, he got him. A pumped up Nova walks off the mound as he throws a scoreless sixth. Yankees lead 4-3. Time now for a look at Auction Hunters, premiering tomorrow at 10 on Spike. Seventh inning, Yankees are leading 4-3. Want to remind everybody that tomorrow, April 5th, the Yankees take on the very same Twins, and it's insulated can cooler night. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees insulated can cooler, courtesy of Pepsi Max. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. So Scott Baker has certainly hung in there. He got wrapped around in the first 2 innings, a pair of 2-run home runs, one by A-Rod, one by Posada, but he's held it right there. It's 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. As Cano fouls it back. Cano, Swisher, and Posada.
Well, you mentioned it, Michael. Scott Baker doing a nice job mixing up his pitches after the first couple innings. The 2 home runs, the 4 runs. Mixing in a slider, curveball, changeup.
Lined into left field, up base hit. So Cano with his first hit of the night.
Good sign for Robinson right there, waiting back on a changeup, it looked like. Trying to get himself on track early on this season. Mauer sets up away, a little backdoor slider. Nice piece of hitting, staying back and driving it the other way.
Here's Nick Swisher, walked and scored and flied out to right. Jabba Chamberlain now up in the Yankee bullpen. Let's manage ahead with Joe Girardi. Jabba pitched so well on the opener. Gave up a run yesterday. But my question, John, low pitch count for Nova. Do you push him out there for the 7th, or you use that vaunted bullpen to close this out?
Well, I think if you came into this game and you asked Joe Girardi if you had a lead after 6 innings with Nova, you'd probably say, I'll take it. I'll sign up for it right now with my bullpen being a strength. Well, I would lean towards Ivan Nova's night being done. Jabba Chamberlain looking forward to the 7th inning. If that's the case, I've been impressed with Nova tonight, making some pitches in the middle of a ball game that we didn't see him do last year. A good early sign for the Yankees and Joe Girardi.
Talking things over with Larry Rothschild. And also, by getting him out now, you've gotten him over that 5-inning hump where he feels good about things, and only, for him, the only thing that he can get out of this game is positive. Now, he'd like to get the win, but if it doesn't happen, it wouldn't be his issue. So there's a mental aspect to the managing whether to bring him out or not. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Grounded to first. Bobbled by Morneau. He loses the play at 7, gets the out at first. In his haste to get rid of the ball, he bobbled it.
He's a little frustrated with himself. Playing it off his left side, and he's going to do the spin to second base, but you can see never in his glove. He's never going to get the handle on the baseball. So smart play. You take your out at first base and get back to work.
So here's Jorge Posada swinging a hot bat. 3 home runs and 6 ribbies in the early going. Those 3 home runs in the last 2 games. 2 yesterday, 1 tonight. Runner at second. Yankees up 4-3.
Michael had a chance to talk to Jorge around the batting cage today, and he said spring training was so huge for him, kind of to get that feeling like he's not pinch hitting 4 times, like he's actually having 4 at bats through the course of a game. He's so used to catching his whole career, and whenever he would get an at bat as a DH, it felt like a pinch hit.
Ground ball is short. Garcia, and they just get Posada for the second out.
Getting those at bats in spring training as a designated hitter, a lot more comfortable, and obviously 3 home runs early on in the season. Going to be frustrated with that at bat. Pretty happy where he is offensively.
Beautiful night in New York City. I don't know if you'd say it was unseasonably warm, but it's a little above average for April. Nice night. Granderson takes a pitch high. And the count 2-0.
Situation here that Baker can be careful. You got the left-handed hitting Curtis Granderson, first base open with 2 outs, and Russell Martin on deck, right-handed hitter. Do not have to give in to Curtis Granderson here with Cano at second. Good pitch, little slider on the inside half for strike 1.
Last year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 245 hitter. Now 3-1. Baker had a good spring training for the Twins. 2.66 ERA. He threw just under 24 innings, 20 strikeouts and 5 walks. And as we mentioned, he beat out Kevin Slowey for that final rotation spot. 3-1. Count full. Along with John Flaherty and Kimberly Jones, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes on this Monday evening. We thank you for joining us. Yankees are leading the Twins 4-3. First game of a 4-game set. Tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday night, and then Thursday at 1:05. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Maurer gets an angle, and that will do it. So Slowey has worked through 6. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We go to the 7th. Stadium looks great from the outside, and they're leading on the inside. Ivan Nova over 6 innings, leaves with a 4-3 lead. Let's take a look.
We got off to a nice start in this ball game. A strikeout of Denard Span, a little cutter. He got a big double play when he needed it on Delman Young in the 6th inning, 6-4-3. Jim Thome hits a double, a couple RBIs, the one blemish of the night, really, but fielding his position well. A lot of ground balls all night, and then he finishes it off with a strikeout of Jim Thome, and obviously showing a lot of emotion. Great job by the 24-year-old righty.
As Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. So Nova is done for the night, and they call on Java Chamberlain. He's pitched in 2 games, got the win on opening day, gave up a run in the 9th inning yesterday to the Tigers. So 3 hits in 2 innings, 2 strikeouts. And he will pitch the 7th. And the pitch to Kubel. Here's a strike. And the way the Yankees draw it up, you see the Cadillac scoreboard there, lead 4-3. Java 7th, Soriano 8th, Mariano 9th. I guess we can come up with a little name for that. I guess we can call it Joe So Mo. Java, So, and Mo.
Yeah, that doesn't have a chance to catch on.
Joe So
Mo.
Joe So Mo.
It just doesn't flow.
There was a Quan Gormo at one point. Remember that?
Quantrell.
Right.
Gordon.
Tom Gordon and Mo.
And that didn't catch on either. I never heard of it before.
Truman deep to left center, and Kubel is out as Granderson runs it down. Well, don't come looking for any residuals if I get that T-shirt out. Joe Somo. Here's Danny Valencia.
Watch Java early on this season. It looks like he's not thinking about anything mechanically. He made a little adjustment in spring training. But right now, it looks like he's a lot more aggressive, just picking out a spot and driving it through. Good velocity at 95. And watch the body language. Looks like a pitcher who knows exactly what he's doing.
Grounded to Teixeira. Nice play. Second out.
Java not messing around, just coming right at the twin hitters with his fastball, and it's good. A good one tonight, 95 miles an hour.
Now I asked Joe Girardi why did he go with Java and not Robertson on opening day on the 7th inning. And he just said, you know what, I like the way he threw in spring training. He had good velocity, and I particularly like the tilt on a slider. He said, so, I mean, it's a mix and match. You feel, but right now I just feel that it's Java. Garcia fouls it back.
I just like the body language right now. It just looks like he's a lot more aggressive down the hill, attacking the hitters. It's all about confidence. You have a good spring training. You know where the ball's going with your location. And all of a sudden you start feeling good about yourself. Get a little confidence back on the mound. Good body language.
Right back to Java. Good 7th inning as he retires the Twins. 1, 2, 3. So he's done his job. And now he'll turn it over to Soriano and then Mariano. At the end of 6.5 time for the 7th inning stretch. The Yankees lead the Twins 4-3, but we will stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
We remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now joining Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Who's incomparable, John? Is it me? Is it you?
No, it was Michael Kay was first, so that's where he was going with that.
I think it was all encompassing. Anyway, thank you, Bob. We look forward to the postgame show. Bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees holding on to a 4-3 lead, trying to add some onto that. On the Cadillac scoreboard, 4-5-1 is leading 3-6-0, and the Yankees will send up 9-1-2 in their order. Martin, Gardner, and Jeter. Little young fan here on a nice night, Monday night in the Bronx. We got themselves a new pitcher. It's Kevin Slowey. Slowey was beaten out by Baker for that rotation spot, and this is his 3rd game out of the pen. And we told you, completely rejiggered Twins bullpen from last year. Hot shot, just foul. They lost Jesse Crane. They lost Matt Guerrero. They lost John Roush. They lost Brian Fuentes. So a completely different pen. I shouldn't say completely, because there are some holdovers. Caps and Nathan coming back from the Tommy John surgery. Foul back.
Russell Martin has got himself off to a great start. A batting average at .462 at this point, a home run. And both of those swings against Slowey, he was right on the fastball and the slider. A nice start to his Yankee career.
Soriano's turn in the 8th. Really would be something, John, if Chamberlain becomes a really important cog in that bullpen. Early on in his career, he showed such unbelievable promise, and then into the rotation and lost some velocity out of the bullpen. And he was going to be the 8th inning guy this year. At least that was the plan until they signed Rafael Soriano, and that just made the whole bullpen stronger. But if he's effective, then you turn the game into a 6th inning affair. As Martin is down looking and does not like the call.
Dan Bellino has made a couple of calls that were a little bit questionable. You see Russell Martin thinks that ball is down and in, and again, it doesn't hit the spot where Joe Mauer is setting up. Take a look from the side. It looks like it's about knee high.
That's over the plate. It's just that Mauer moved his glove so much. So here's Gardner. He could have broken it open in the 4th inning. A slicing line drive to left. Yankees had runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs, but a really outstanding play by Delman Young. That kept the Twins in the ballgame.
Yeah, and it was a great at-bat from Brett Gardner, too. I mentioned how he's trying to fight the ball off the other way, and he did it perfectly. He got robbed by Delman Young. Would have been a couple RBIs. You know, Michael, I want to get back to Jabba Chamberlain, though, and I think that's why it jumped out at me, the body language out on the mound. It really looks like a guy to me who's feeling good about himself, that, you know what, maybe I'm back to where I was. And we remember velocity when he was younger, you know, was through the roof, up in the upper 90s, but 95 miles an hour, and the mindset of challenging some hitters. Tell he feels good about it.
Hot shot. Morneau knocks it down. And now Gardner's hitting in some bad luck. Yesterday he didn't look good swinging the bat. Now he's hitting some balls on the screws, but he's not hitting in any luck.
So hard to do when your teammates tell you, hey, keep your head up, way to swing it, you're right on it. Well, you know what, I'm 0 for again. I hit a couple of balls hard. I can't find a hole. It is tough to not get frustrated, and see Morneau just kind of knocks it down. Makes the play.
Take the Yankees with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. That one is drilled to left field. Going back is Delman Young, and he makes the play. And the Yankees hit 2 balls on the screws, but the Twins played them perfect defensively. And the Yankees go down in order. And we go to the 8th with the Yankees holding a 1-run lead. On yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Here are tonight's candidates. Number 1, Jorge Posada, 2-run home run. Number 2, Alex Rodriguez, 2-run home run. Number 3, Ivan Nova, 6 innings of strong baseball, and Jim Thome with a big double as well. So we'll find out soon enough. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Now it's time for Rafael Soriano as he deals in the 8th to the top of the Twins order. Span shows bunt and takes a strike. Pitched on opening day. 1-2-3, 8th inning.
Obviously a nice start to his Yankee career on opening day, pitching a nice clean inning. Soriano gives you that impression he's not really going to be fazed or intimidated by any situation. Obviously closing for Tampa Bay last year, had a big year, an all-star year.
Swing and a miss. Led the American League in saves.
He's got the attitude to go with it, kind of goes at his own pace on the mound, definitely dictating the action and not afraid to challenge hitters with his fastball. Good mix of a slider.
Dusty Hughes, one of 3 lefties in the Twins bullpen. Missed outside.
Did not miss by much. I think that's the one thing we saw from Soriano in spring training. When he misses, it is just off the plate. Has outstanding control with that fastball. Probably misses, but a great pitch when you're ahead in the count.
The 2-2. Strike 3. Span down looking.
Tough night for Span. 3 strikeouts. Had a check swing and 2 other ones that he's been looking. And again, it's a fastball right on the outside corner. You keep repeating that location Major league umpires will start giving you the call. I see he catches the plate.
John, what can a hitter be thinking there? Because obviously it was a strike, and you've got 2 strikes, so you just caught between. Your mind's thinking something else?
No, you start thinking he's got to throw me a slider at some point. I mean, all he's doing is throwing fastball after fastball. When's he going to throw the slider? And the next thing you know, it's another fastball and it's by you.
Count 1-0 to Nishioka. Count 2-0.
I hate to say this, Michael, because you can't compare anybody to Mariano Rivera, but when you watch Mariano work, very rarely does he throw a ball in the middle of the plate. It's always on the corner or just off. And watching Soriano in spring training and early on this year, it seems the same thing. He just paints the corners. Right there, down and away. Tough to do anything with it.
Yankees wisely at Steinbrenner Field. When they gave out the lockers at the beginning of spring training, they put Soriano right next to Mariano. The two have a very good relationship. The 2-1. Off the glove of Soriano, and that's going to be a base hit for Nishioka. So the second baseman 2 for 4.
Well, your first reaction, you're Soriano, you're trying to make a play just off the tip of his glove. It was not hit that hard. Got to believe Derek Jeter would have been moving across the diamond, would have been able to make that play. Soriano just off the tip of his glove. A little frustrated with himself.
Now a dangerous spot in this game with Joe Mauer at the plate. Mauer 2 at-bats against Soriano, lifetime with 1 hit. And Mauer's so much of a better hit. At least last year he was against right-handed pitching. He hit .365 against righties and .272 against lefties. And after the All-Star break, overall, Mauer hit .373, and only Josh Hamilton with .384 had a better batting average in the second half. Strike.
Joe Mauer's gotten off to a slow start this season, hitting 100 coming into this at bat, and behind him Justin Morneau starting to get it going a little bit, a couple of hits tonight. Soriano has his work cut out for him.
Mauer signed an extension before last season. He would have been a free agent at the end of last year, and he was asked, did you ever give any thoughts, when you see what he does in the 7th inning or later last year, did you ever give any thoughts of possibly playing for a team like the Yankees? He said, I actually did. He said, but when it comes down to it, I'm a kid from the Twin Cities, and this is a perfect situation for me. He said, but it more than entered my mind. He said, to be on a team that you know is going to be able to win every single year. Just missed inside.
Always dangerous in Yankee Stadium, short porch in right field, to mess with a left-handed hitter inside. If you make a mistake, could be a 2-run home run. Good pitch by Soriano, throwing it off the plate in. See if he goes back away.
Count 3-2 with Justin Morneau lurking on deck.
See what Ron Gardenhire's thinking with Nishioka at first base. He has some speed. We saw his resume from Japan. Could send him here on a 3-2 count, trusting your number 3 hitter. He's either going to walk or put the ball in play. See how Ron Gardenhire plays it.
Runner goes. And that one is served into left field. Gardner just back to make the catch for the second out.
Nice job by Soriano and Russell Martin behind the plate, keeping Maurer to the big part of the field. Last thing you want is that one swing of the bat that could end up in the seats in right field. Give the Twins the lead. He kept them the other way. Big part of the ballpark.
You know, it's interesting, John. Sometimes your bigger outs, your tougher outs are going to come in the 8th inning, and your closer comes in the 9th. And this is one of those games where you're going to have to navigate Maurer and Morneau. These are the at-bats that could lose you the game. That's why having a legitimate closer pitch in the 8th inning is a real advantage for the Yankees.
Well, and it's interesting, too, that this tells you everything you need to know about what the Yankees think about Soriano. Mariano Rivera is still sitting down. In the past, we would see him at least warming up in this situation. Joe Girardi, Larry Rothschild, all the confidence in Soriano here in a big spot.
Popped up. A-Rod drifts over. Out of play. You know, a lot of teams now, if you look around the major leagues, taking this tack of having two legitimate closers. The Yankees' rival, the Red Sox, are doing it with Bobby Jenks and Papelbon. And some say that Bard is also a closer type. And you see it with some teams. The Twins have it with Nathan and Caps. And it kind of shortens the game. A strike. I think you saw with the Tigers with Joaquin Benoit and Jose Valverde. Crowd of 40,331 looking for Soriano to get the final out of the 8th. Yankees holding on to a 4-3 lead. Popped up. Alex Rodriguez puts it away for the final out, and Soriano does a good, solid job against the heart of the Twins order in the 8th. They leave one. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-3 Yanks. Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show. Every week, go inside the mind of the manager for insight on the team, Joe's preview of the upcoming series, plus the answers to your questions submitted on YesNetwork.com. A new season of the Joe Girardi Show starts tonight. After the postgame, it's only on Yes. New pitcher for the Twins, Dusty Hughes. And he deals to Mark Teixeira, a strike.
Hughes, one of 3 left-handed pitchers in the bullpen for the Twins. We talk all the time about a luxury to have 2 lefties. The Twins have 3.
First game of a 4-game set tomorrow and Wednesday night, and then Thursday afternoon at 1:05. Count 2-2. You know, you see the way Soriano pitched on opening night or opening day, and now the way he pitched tonight. And you can see what the Yankees did when they made the signing. They were turned down by Cliff Lee. They made a great offer, and rather than just put the money away, they decided to spend it on something that was out there that would make an already strong part of their team even better. As that one's lined into left field, a base hit for Teixeira. And you could argue the point, John, by picking up a closer like Soriano and putting him in the 8th inning and then pairing him with Robertson and Chamberlain, and then when Feliciano is healthy and Boone Logan, you might have, if not the best bullpen in baseball, certainly in the argument.
And I think the biggest thing we saw Mariano starting to get loose is you have to have a closer who comes in to pitch the 8th inning, who's willing to pitch the 8th inning and set up for Mariano Rivera. Obviously, it's an honor to do that for Soriano.
There's a strike.
Michael, when you're an opposing ball club and you come into Yankee Stadium, it's intimidating knowing that the last couple of innings are shutdown innings. You know, obviously there are going to be days where you're going to get to Soriano and possibly Mariano Rivera. But your mindset at the beginning of a ball game is different, knowing that you have to try to get a lead to keep those guys out of the game.
It's almost as if you manage then the 6th or 7th inning like you would the 8th or 9th inning. And Joe Girardi manages differently as well. He doesn't push his starting pitchers as some others might have to do because the bullpen's not as deep or as long. Now, you don't want your starters only to give you 6, but the way the Yankee bullpen is set up, they can give you 6 and you can live to tell about it.
Well, especially when you have a horse like CC Sabathia, who's used to going 7-8 innings pretty much every time he goes out there, gives the bullpen a little break.
Ground ball to third. There's one. On to first. Double play. Second time that Alex has wrapped into a double play tonight. Very close call at first base.
I was interested to see right here with Nishioka at second base and how he turns this. Mentioned earlier, he doesn't have the strongest throwing arm in the world, and it's going to be a bang-bang play. Teixeira goes in hard.
Here's Cano. And there's a strike. Take a look at that play at first base on the Coors Light freeze cam. Ball's just outside the glove, the foot's still up. Hot shot up the middle. It's a base hit for Cano, his second of the night.
Back-to-back base hits for Robinson Cano. Good news for him going the other way for his first at bat, right back up the middle for base hit number 2. It's a smile on Joe Girardi's face.
Boy, the way this lineup breaks down, John, it's so hard for an opposing manager to match up. Or when do you bring in your lefty? You're bringing him in to face Cano? Well, then you got 2 switch hitters after that. Do you risk the 2 switch hitters to get to Granderson again? It's a very, very tough lineup to navigate with relievers.
Really interested to see what Nick Swisher does this year. He talked about it last year when he hit second in the lineup, a great place to hit. Now he's going to be hitting a little bit further down in the lineup. Looks like when there's right-handed starting pitching.
Now tomorrow against the lefty, he's probably going to bat second, according to Girardi. That's the way that the lefty pitcher lineup fleshes out, with Jeter up top and Swisher batting second.
Nick talked last year. He knew pitchers were going to challenge him because Mark Teixeira behind him, Alex Rodriguez after that. Mentally, he knew they were going to come right at him. Now he's going to be hitting 6th, 7th, wherever he ends up. A little doubt in your mind. Fastball count, is he going to come right at me? He might pitch around me a little bit.
Count 2-2. Fouled away. Swisher has walked and scored, flied out to right, and then grounded to first. We're at the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 4-3. They led 4-0 after 2, but then 2 in the 4th for the Twins, 1 in the 5th, and that's where we are right now. The pitcher of record on the winning side is Ivan Nova, and Scott Baker on the losing side, unless something changes. Nova gave the Yankees 6 innings, then Java pitched the 7th, Soriano the 8th, and Rivera is warming up in the 9th. Line foul. Scott Baker won 6. Kevin Slowey at 1, 2, 3, 7th, and now Dusty Hughes here in the 8th. (3-2) runner goes, strike 3. Swisher down looking, so Hughes works a scoreless 8th. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. Mariano's warming up. In the 7th inning, it was Jabba Chamberlain, scoreless. Soriano in the 8th, scoreless. And now the last part of Joe Somo will come and pitch the 9th. Mariano is next. Twins. Stick around for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry will have a complete recap of all the action, plus Kim Jones gets the players' quotes from the clubhouse. It's all coming up later on the postgame. It's only on Yes. Yankees are hoping it comes up shortly. They are 3 outs away from their 3rd victory of the year. Mariano's trying to pick up his 3rd save of the year. He saved Thursday's game. He saved Saturday's game. He'll face Delman Young. Foul the other way.
Michael, he's also facing 3 hitters in this inning that have homered against Mariano in their careers, and you see the numbers early on this year. 1 strikeout. Young has hit a home run. Jim Thome has hit a home run, and Kubel has a home run against Mariano in their career.
Squibb the other way. It's going to be a tough play. If it's fair, it's trouble. It's a foul ball. The only hit he has against Rivera is that home run. So Mariano quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Strike 3. Young down looking.
Seen it before from Mariano so many times. You throw that cutter right at the front hip, and it moves just enough to try to get back to that inside corner just off the plate. Nice catch by Russell Martin, bringing that ball back to the strike zone. Gets the call.
Here's the dangerous Thome, 589 home runs. And a strike.
Well, he's taken all the way, and that pitch was pretty much down the middle. Mariano expected a little more cut on that fastball, and it stayed middle of the plate. 3 for 14 with 1 home run.
Looks like it's going to be 3 for 15 as Cano drifts back. And the Twins are down to their final out. And it comes down to Rivera against Kubel. Kubel, good numbers against Rivera, 3 for 6, including a grand slam. Strike 93 miles an hour. Strike 2. The Twins down to their final strike. 7 pitches, 7 strikes for Rivera. Yankees lead 4-3. And he keeps it alive with a base hit. 8th hit of the night for the Twins.
Good numbers against Mariano, coming in 3 for 6. Now he's going to be 4 for 7. He goes down and gets it. Just slaps it right back up the middle. Good look at that cutter on Yesmo, down and away. It's a nice piece of hitting.
Jason Repko will pinch run for Kubel. And here's Danny Valencia. Valencia kept looking back over his shoulder to see if Gardner was going to call him back, and Gardner waved his hand and said, "Go, you're right." They've got Michael Kadire on the bench, another righty hitter. They have 1 switch hitter, Matt Tolbert, and their backup catcher, Drew Butera, also a righty hitter. And again, the Yankees are 1 strike away. Kadire is on deck. He will pinch it for Casilla if it gets that far. And the 0-2. Valencia tried to buy a hit by pitch there. Just whispered by him.
I like the pitch too, up and in. Oh, he's saying it got his right forearm. Doesn't get the call from Dan Bellino behind the plate.
Stays alive. Rivera wearing the socks higher than he ever has, and Joe Girardi said he's doing it because he wants to look younger.
Whatever he's doing, keep doing it. Velocity at 92, 93 tonight, so Mariano feeling pretty good about himself.
Oh, just missed. Wow. Mariano thought he had strike 3.
And you very, very rarely see Mariano show any sort of emotion. He felt good about this pitch. Down and in. Thought he had strike 3. Turns away in disgust. We're not used to seeing that from Mariano.
Young umpire. A lot of the pitchers really don't know what he's about yet. Dan Bellino. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first. The pitch. Grounded, grabbed there by A-Rod. Straightens, fires, ball game. Yankees win. So the Yankees use the formula again. 6 innings from their starter, and then Jabba in the 7th, Soriano in the 8th, Mariano in the 9th, and the Yankees win this one 4-3 as their dominance over the Twins continues.
Well, nice job by young Ivan Nova, and you mentioned it, the bullpen locked down. Jabba Chamberlain, Rafael Soriano, Mariano Rivera, and a nice play by Alex Rodriguez. Good strong throw across the diamond. Give Valencia credit for a good at bat. Another Yankee win, another save for Mariano Rivera.
Stick around for the post-game show, everybody, to find out who's tonight's Chevy player of the game. So a couple of home runs for the Yankees, one by Posada, one by A-Rod. That's the Yankee offense. Both 2-run shots. And then the pitching got it done against the Twins. So 4-3, the Yankees beat the Twins, and they win the first game of this 4-game set. They're now 3 out of 4 in this young season. They took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, and now they take the first game against the Twins. Let's get it down to the field, and Kim Jones. Kim?
Thank you, Michael. Mariano, this formula is working pretty well. 6 innings by the starter, then Jabba, Rafael, Mariano.
Well, thank God. Thank God, and it was designed that way from the offseason, so we have to continue doing it.
What do you see from Jabba, who looks like he's regained some of that form we talked about a couple years ago?
Well, he's aggressive. He's throwing strikes, and that's the main thing. You throw strikes, a lot of good things going to happen, and that's what he's doing right now.
And Soriano, your new setup man, I know that you guys get along well. You lockered next to each other during the spring, and you've got to love what you've seen from him on the mound.
He has done a tremendous job. Tremendous job. Like I said, that doesn't surprise me at all. He's been doing it before, so why not doing it here, especially in New York?
Do you feel as good as you have at the beginning of a season?
I feel good. I feel good. I just come here to do my job. Try to do my job as possible, quick as possible, and best possible I can do it.
You do your job as well as anyone. And this question comes from Michael Kay, because I don't want to impact the relationship we have.
Okay.
And it's about the socks.
Okay.
And the fact that you're wearing the pants a lot higher this year. You want to tell us why?
Well, nothing. I just came out one day and I just wanted to wear like that. Feel good. In spring training was it wasn't warm at all. It wasn't hot. It was hot. Now I put it high so I feel lighter. Just doing it like that.
I'm glad you're smiling after I asked you about your darn socks. Thank you, Mariano.
You're welcome.
Michael, he smiled. Thank goodness.
Thanks, Kim. And I still don't understand why the pants are higher, but we'll find out. We've got an award to give out. Then we got the post-game show coming up. Mariano closes it out. He saved all 3 Yankee wins this year. Yankees win this one 4-3.